So, I am doing a voiceover for this little cute ass painting that I'm doing. My original audio was a hot mess only because, right, I got distracted by what I was watching. But anyway, I digress. Um, I decided to do this cute little painting of some incense that I had been burning, right? Oh my gosh, excuse me, girl. That was so manly. Anyway, so I was lighting some incense, and the look of the fire on the stick, I don't know, it just did something to me. And I took a picture of it because I wanted to come back to it at a later date. Not necessarily to do something huge, but just to do it because I just thought it was a beautiful, like, little image, right? Okay, whatever. Um, and what better time than now? Okay, I'm in a bit of a rut. I have three paintings that I'm currently working on, and I kind of want to break from them. But I also don't like starting new paintings when I have so many other paintings that I'm working on. I don't like doing that. I like to at least have one finished before I start something else, especially if it's going to be on a way bigger scale because, I don't have that much room. And since I predominantly use oil, my paintings need some time to breathe. My paintings need some time to oxidize. My painting needs to have dust free zones and all that type of stuff and pet hair free. And I mean, it's just dust free. Like I need to make sure I have enough room, and that's the issue. So since I have three pieces that I am currently still working on, I'm kind of just in a rut because I don't really want to do the other ones I have. I don't really feel like it. I want to take a little break from it. I've been doing it for months and I'm just kind of stir crazy at this moment, right? So anyway, this is the painting I'm working on. I'm showing y'all the colors that I decided to use. I used some cobalt, no, I'm sorry, cerulean blue. I used some portrait pink. I used some ivory lamp black. I used some lemon yellow and titanium white. That's all I'm doing. This canvas board is a 5 by 7. Like I said, it's tiny. It ain't nothing to go home about, but it's small enough to get that itch out the way. You know that itchy itch that I'm talking about, that little scratch? It's enough to get that out the way. So, yeah, what y'all, want to talk about? Y'all, let's keep talking about this hold up, right? So, this little artist block. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's a block. I'm gonna call it artist boredom. Um, don't get me wrong, like my work doesn't bore me, but I'm also like my attention span isn't the best. So doing the same three pieces of artwork for months, like my interest is like, come on, girl, let's do something else. Come on, let's do something else. Temptation is just so like, oh, I just want to do something else. But I need to at least finish one of these hoes. So my portrait is almost done. I'm excited about that. I looked at it today, and some parts of the fireflies that I made for that painting is still wet, and I need to go in to make some like highlights on the bug, so all of it needs to be dry. So that's almost done. And once I'm finished doing that one, I'm going to start another painting. But this painting is significantly bigger, and I'm so excited for it. I already sketched it out. I'm just, mm, I'm ready. If you ready, I'm ready too. Like, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's get into her. Excuse the background noise, alright? Okay, so I'm just doing the incense stick. This is a jumbo incense stick that I have. Um, I actually got them at a smoke shop. Don't come for me or judge me. I got it at a smoke shop and I just fell in love with it. Now I blow flowers. Um, yes. And sometimes the best way to stamp out that flower smell is to light an incense. Not only do they smell absolutely amazing, there's also some spiritual incense that I like to light as well. So it's honestly just a win-win for me. If we're gonna be honest, you know. Did I blow flowers? I did. I sure did. But that's not the point of this video here. The point of this video is to talk about what I'm making, alright? Now, I don't know if you can see, but in that little upper right corner, that's the image that I took. That's it, okay? Now, I had to clean the brush a little bit. In that gross looking jug, that's paint thinner that I have in there that I use to clean my brushes off. Uh, I'm not even gonna lie to you and say that I switched out my paint thinner. I keep my jug of paint thinner for a really long time. If I'm doing a painting that's real light, I will get different paint thinner, and then when I'm finished with it using my light colors, I'll just pour it into the one that I have. And what ends up happening is that it starts to separate, which is dope to me. Like, cool, all the gunk from the paint and everything goes to the bottom, and then you got pretty good paint thinner at the top. So I like to recycle it. I don't know if that's necessarily what you're supposed to do, but it's what I do. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Why does it look like I'm paused? I think I am paused. Why are you paused, girl? You got distracted? Let's see what I'm about to do, because I don't know. What you about to do, girl? It's just stuck on Stoops. What is she doing? I know she doing some because I see it in the reflection right there. Okay. She getting that white and yellow. So right here, I mixed a little bit of yellow into my white, my titanium white. Um, I needed to give the brightest part of the flame just a little color because it mixed with that white background. It's a lot. And I didn't prime this because this ain't a type of painting that like it need all that. I'm not gonna do all that with this canvas board. I'm not gonna do all that. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Oh, you get a better outcome. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not gonna do all that. This is just something to just get that itch out. Like, oh, I want to create. I want to create. I want to create. Bam, there you go, girl. There you go, little boy. Ah. There you go, little boy. Ah. It's only for you. It's only for you, boo. You keep that for you. So if you don't feel like priming, you don't have to prime, right? Okay? If you don't feel like doing none of that, you don't gotta do none of that. Because it's yours, right? And it's your work. Am I rambling? Yes, but that's not the point. Anyway, back to the painting. So now I mixed a little bit of the cerulean blue and white. Very little. And then I mixed it with a fat medium. So that it has some spreadability, you know. And now I'm slowly working up the blue part of the flame, as you can see in that picture right there. Don't come from my cup, okay? My cup has been through some things, all right? That's not the point. Anyways, so I'm slowly working that up into the kind of eggshell-ish white paint. Give it a little sexy ass gradient. I like that word, gradient. Um, just, slowly bringing up the what is it? Opacity, opaqueness, opaqueness. You know, slowly adding a little raz, a little daz, one at a time. Lightly, because you can always add more. It's hard to take off. But I also know that you can just like kind of erase your work with your oil. But I've never really done that. Because I'm scared. So I'm really intentional with what I do, with how I paint. I'm super intentional. Anyway, okay, let's get back to it. Cleaning off my brush of the brush. Now I know that paint gonna look black, right? But I don't know if you can see that little lightness around it. Yeah, that's clean thinner. So you can't say shit because that's clean thinner right there. Yeah, 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 that part. Anyway, now I got a little bit of orange, very little, and I mixed it with a little bit of yellow, so it's not as bright. And then this is just the first line of defense. Okay, this is a pretty little highlight of all of the brightness that's to come. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I like fire. I'm not a pyromaniac, but I am an Aries. I have a lot of fire in my chart. Um and I've always thought it was so beautiful. Now, I am not a pyromaniac, but there's something about a fire. It's so powerful, and it's so dynamic. Ooh, just I don't know if you ever looked into a fire. Just look at the colors. Look how the colors dance. Look how everything kind of melts. Because honestly, when you strike a motherfucking flame, when you strike a flame, there is at least two colors on that flame. And the fact that something could be so beautiful and so deadly at the same time, like that's crazy. Like I have a lot of respect for that flame. I really do. I really do. Because fire can take you out. But I also can acknowledge how beautiful it is. It's just so pretty. Like, look at her. Whenever I talk about fire, I have to say it makes the people around me very nervous. But I would never, like, set stuff on fire. That's crazy. And granted, like, I know that I'm not, like, all the way wrapped too tight, but I'm not so loosely wrapped that I will play with fire. I'm not that crazy. No, I wouldn't do that. Okay. I wasn't trying to convince myself. I was just saying, like, trying to convince you, because y'all don't really know me. But I'm not. I promise you I'm not. Anyway, okay. So look at what I'm doing here. Look how I'm blending all that out. Look at her. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now, for me to be a self-taught hottie, like you can't tell me. Like you can't hate. You just can't hate. You cannot hate because I know that I have something. Like I know that I have something. I know it. I feel it. I know what my fate is supposed to be. You can't tell me I don't be cooking with grease. You can't tell me. The only other time I painted a flame was last year, and I painted two candles. And you know, I'll compare and contrast in a little bit. When this dries, I'll put them both up together. But I will say that she is definitely growing. Okay, she's definitely growing, and it's all because of me. It's all because of me. Like if I don't believe in myself, in all honesty, if I don't believe in myself, what's the point? Like if I can't, If I can't big myself up, why would I expect somebody else to? Or not even that, because I honestly don't care if nobody gets my artwork. I genuinely don't care. I really don't. My artwork is for me, it's my expression, it's what I want to do. My artwork is very much so tethered to my heart and tethered to me. So like if nobody understood it, my stuff, or why I did what I did, I genuinely don't care. I really don't care. Um, Nobody could ever buy any of my artwork and I would still be fine. I would still be okay. I would still be out in these streets creating because this is for me. I just share because I have hope and faith that my artwork will resonate with somebody and touch somebody. And that and that anybody, I don't care who you are, what background you come from, like that anybody can really resonate with what I do. But if you don't, that's also okay too, because I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, so back to it. I don't know if you can see, but I've kind of blended the top part of the incense that I had lit, the really dark black part, so that it doesn't just look like some paint around a black stick. I had it to incorporate elements of the white, the orange, the blue, all of that around it to make it look like it is kind of like a 3D, you know, like it's multi, like, you know, got a couple dimensions, not just two, not just one. Um, and I think the technique that I used really like shows that. Granted, I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that was the way that came to me intuitively. So, shit, it's the right way then. What is this? I just got a notification from my bank. From my bank. What you want, bank? What you want? They don't want nothing. But look at her. Look at her. Now, if anybody sees this, like if y'all have techniques and tricks that like y'all want to give me, like if y'all are like, oh yeah, oh if you do this, ba da ba 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 ba, then I'm open to that. I'm open to that because I do want to learn. I do want to get better. I do think that there's room for growth. Um, in every capacity. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been in your field. I think that there's always room to grow. So if anybody seeing this has some techniques or tricks or something like that, I'm definitely down. Let me know. Tell me, okay? Because at the end of the day, I do want to be the best version of myself. And it just so happens that artistically, I got some room to grow. And then not even just artistically, just in general as a person. I'm that's been my journey, becoming the best version of myself. And I'm open to advice and all these types of things. Um, but also too, like nobody knows what you need more than your gut. So, but if you got some advice or whatever, I definitely will listen. There's no buts about it. I'll definitely listen. But anyways, let's look at her. Let's look at her. Smooth. Who needs a fire? Who needs a little flame to light your way? Oh, and the name of this incense is a Black Love. And it smells amazing. You know what? It smells like black love. If you know, you know. If you don't, then it's unfortunate. But if you know, I mean, you know. You know. So now, I pretty much got my flame the way that I like it. Not trying to do too much because it is really wet and black will muddy all those other bright colors. So now I am just working on fucking getting color onto the background. Now this color, the color I'm putting on the background, which doesn't really show up well, kind of weird. The background color that I actually have is portrait pink. It's that pink color that I showed you in the beginning. But isn't it crazy how color can translate? Like that's crazy. It looks like kind of orangey, but in real life it's really not. That's weird. Yeah, that's weird. What is that? Mm. Well, I did take some pictures so that I can add to it so y'all can see. Cause I don't know what that's about. Why I look like that? It low key, it kind of looked like the background on the phone. That's kind of what I wanted to do. It don't really look like that in real life. Like I said, it's like that pinky peachy color. But it's crazy. That's weird, ain't it? Oh, like stuff like that happens. I'll be like, ooh, touched by an angel. Yeah. Get a little flick of the wrist. The flick of the paint. Flick of the flick of the flick of the paint. Now that story I was watching on YouTube was crazy. It was crazy. It was about this prolific killer in Brazil. He's one of the most prolific killers in history. I forgot his name. And it was by this girl. Hold on, what's her name? Let me see. Her name. Let me see. Her name is Danielle Kirsty, and the title of the video was Brazil's Deadliest Killer to Glorified YouTuber. Mm. And this man was crazy. Like, this man got his first body when he was 14. I think at the end of it, she said that this man ended up killing over 40 people. And to him, they were all bad people. He didn't kill women or children, he killed bad people. He likened himself to freaking Robin Hood, and he would do things like hijack, not hijack, rob like armored vehicles and stuff like that and give the money to the people. And even when this man went to jail, like it was obvious he was going to jail for life, right? When this man went to jail, the freaking public loved him so much that they were sending him names of people that were currently locked up with him that had raped children or women, and he would kill them. um it's crazy. Like, this man lived a full life. He was like the right hand to this predator, drug queenpin, who started messing around with him when he was like 14. He had issues with some other dude. The lady wound up getting shot, murdered, but before that, she had some other henchmen that were kind of jealous of her relationship with old boy. She was having sex with him, which is, that's why I said predator. He was a teenager and she was like 30. That's what the girl said. But anyways, the boys got jealous. They told him, hey, let's meet up, let's chop it up, la la la. And they had their guns. He thought they were trying to kill them. He shot all three of the boys with a sawed off shotgun. And then he ended up fleeing after his queen pin was murdered. He had beef with a rival kingpin at the time who was beefing with his old queen pin. And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get revenge on you." Um, and he ended up waiting for old boy to move because the old boy moved after all that was happening because he saw his queen as like invincible. So when she was murdered, like it hit him hard, kind of thing. He kind of realized that he's not, that even the greats die. So he ends up leaving to stay with his auntie, all that, all that. He meets a girl, they end up having a baby, and this nigga fucking, oh, excuse me, kills the baby, and his rival kills the baby and kills the mama. Oh boy loses his shit. Him and his peoples. No, he actually, not him and his peoples yet, but he actually ends up freaking just killing everybody. Trying to get answers, killing everybody he can kill, honestly. Just out here poking niggas up. And poking niggas up and shooting them. And one day he was at a bar and his rival's ex came up to him and was like, "Yo, I know who killed your girl and I know who killed your kid." And she told him, she was like, "Bing bang bing. It was this dude. I think his name started with a G, like Gecko or something like that." Anyway, he was like, "Oh yeah, it was old boy." So he was like, "What?" He was like, "Word, all right, say less." So he hits up two of his people. He's like, "Yo, I know who took my girl out. I know who killed my seed. Like, we need to handle this." And they was like, "Oh, all right, bet let's take care of this. We don't play about women's and children's, and that was yours. So I definitely am going to help in the facilitation of this revenge." So it just so happens that Tony Greco, the rival, was at his daughter's or somebody close to him wedding. It was him and literally his whole family and friends and people that he also was affiliated with. This man, oh my God, what's his name? I forgot his name. The killer, the dude, what's his name? Anyway, this nigga, right? This dude, he and his two friends ends up going to the wedding. He sees old boy. He sees old boy on sight. He shoots him in the chest with the sawed off shotgun. Bam, killed him instantly. His people come, start shooting back. This man and his people end up sparing all the women and children because they don't hurt women and children, and they took it upon themselves to kill every man that was there, every man and boy that was at that wedding. They ended up killing like 17 people. He got arrested shortly after that in jail, and then that's when I was telling you about like how people would pay him type thing, right? But that's not all. Um he actually, remember I told you how he had his first death? His first death was killing his dad's old boss because his dad's old boss fired him and said that he was doing some like fugazi shit, and he fired him for it. The daddy came home real irate, blah da da. "Oh, you lying, they lying, it was actually the other dude, I'm sure it was the other dude." And mind you, this man, the murderer, the serial killer, or whatever you want to call him, his daddy was really, really abusive. His daddy used to beat the shit out of him and his mama and his siblings. Like, this man was bad. He was really, really, really abusive. Anyways, so yeah, his first two bodies were his dad's boss, and then the guy that his dad said was the one that actually stole, right? Ugh. Sorry. So, And in between that, he was doing other murders. He was killing other people and stuff like that. Like he had little sprinkles of things that he did here and there. He liked to snap niggas' necks. He likes to poke people up. Like he that type of dude. So anyway, while he's in jail, he has some type of fandom and all that. And his mom and stuff is visiting him. His family is visiting him. And then one day he's in jail, and like I said, when he was in jail, he would kill bad people. He killed, if a molester, a new molester came into the jail, he was killing him. Like he killed bad people. He ran the prison, honestly. So one day, his mom had visited him earlier in the day, and the guards had come and got him. They're like, yo, we got some bad news. Sit down, let me tell you. It's about your mama. He was like, what you mean? I literally just saw her. What happened? He was like, oh, your mother was murdered. Damn. Killed his mama. Oh, who killed my mama, you say? Your daddy. Your daddy stabbed her 26 times in the bed. So, what ended up happening was they took this man to jail. The serial killer's daddy. Now remember, he already had beef with his daddy from way back when, because his daddy used to beat on him, right? And his mama, and he was real protective over women, right? And his sister. So he's like, oh, okay, say less. He come in my jail? Cool. So he goes to the jail, right? He's in the jail, and he sees his dad. And his dad, no, that's not what happened. He goes to the prison. The day that he gets taken to the prison, they take him and put him on a different side of the prison because they knew that he was about that action, right? So that night, the guards came to the door, and pretty much, I don't really remember how, but he ended up taking all the guards, locking them in the cell, taking their keys, holding them at gunpoint, and he went over to the other side of the prison. He confronted his father because when he found out about his mom, I think they let him go see his mother. Yeah, I think they let him go see his mother. And he promised her that he would kill his dad and eat his heart. Um, I guess from all the years of abuse, obviously. So that's what I was saying. So he is in the jail. He confronts his dad, and his dad was like, pretty much like, yeah, it is what it is. Do what you gotta do. Um, and the son did what he had to do. He stabbed his daddy 27 times. One more time than when he stabbed his mom. And then, like, he had stabbed that man so much, he damn near decapitated him. Like, it was really brutal. And he cut his dad's heart out. He tried to eat his heart, but he said that his heart was too um muscular, and he didn't, he couldn't really chew it, so he ended up spitting it out and just having it there. Like, that story was crazy. It was a really good story. Do I remember how it ended? No, cause I ended up getting on the phone. Um, but he got out of jail eventually. I think he started up a YouTube channel with his friend. His friend started beefing, and then he started up his own YouTube channel. He's out of prison right now, I think. But after he had murdered his father, they was like, all right, dude, like, you doing a lot. You doing a whole lot. Um, and they actually did something about him. He wasn't allowed to be around nobody. He was pretty much in solitary confinement until he was released. He ended up hurting somebody else, I think. I don't know. Like I said, I was talking. All that could be false. The end part. Everything else was true, you know? And then some other weird shit he did. When he went to go stay with his auntie and his uncle, right? His auntie and his uncle was into, oh my gosh, something I can, like, kind of liken to, like, black magic, um, or dark voodoo. Um, no, I can't even liken it to that. No disrespect, because those are my people. No. Well, I would just say like in, but I also don't want to disrespect his religion. Because there are actual followers, and I never want to be disrespectful to anybody's spiritual beliefs. But he actually ends up joining um, a religion that is high on sacrifice and stuff like that, and worshiping of negative entities, and they initiated him into their religion. They had him do a initiation ceremony where he had to bring some stuff. He ended up killing a cat and drinking its blood, and like it was it was a level of razzle dazzle that I'm not surprised was there, but also I'm like, oh, okay, okay, real scary. And I think that they made him like get evaluated or something like that. It's just, mm, it sucks. It sucks because I do feel like, you know, I do feel like there is like, um, what's that? A victim of circumstance? I do feel like sometimes people are a victim of circumstance, but I also feel like some people are just born evil. And I think that that was the case with old boy. Really, it's sad, you know. Like if he had maybe not been abused, I don't think he would have turned out the way that he did. And I'm not saying that that is a deciding factor. There are plenty of serial killers that had great upbringings and never been through anything and were just sick people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in this case, it sucks. But anyways, this is pretty much the end of this painting and my rambling. I don't like to waste any color, so I just decided to add the color into the background because I mean, I don't waste color. Like I don't understand. I don't get how y'all just be out in these streets wasting color. Like this stuff ain't cheap. This stuff is not cheap at all. Not cheap. Look at that. It ends up coming together like I said. The video ended up cutting short, but